Another busy day for me. What I thought I was going to do didn't pan out. I thought I was going to maybe do the tobacco harvest, at least cut the plants off. But instead I did some tree trimming along the driveway. I've been eyeballing it past few times I've been out there. I finally went and got our pole saw and cut down a bunch of the tree limbs that were overhanging the roof of the house and the driveway. So let's go take a look at that. So as you can see, there's a pile of tree limbs in my front yard now. But it had to have been taken care of. And I'll show you. The initial reason I was going to cut the limbs down was where these limbs overhangs the electrical lines, cable for the house. So my thought was, snowstorm comes, like we had a heavy snowstorm last winter and took out tree limbs, took out quite a few tree limbs. But that was the initial response, or what reason I came out here, was to take this down. But there was another tree limb that was in this area here, and there were tree limbs up here, and I'm not too sure how well this is gonna look. That tree limb overhangs the house some, and I can't reach that one. There are tree limbs here, and where you see some cuts and stuff of where the tree limbs came off. So it basically opened up a big path away from the house, and all these trees are dead on my neighbor's side. So this tree branches out, overhangs the house, but there was a lot more limbs, as you saw in the front yard, that are in that pile. So I took all those out. And a different angle going down the driveway, and as you can see, it's opened up quite a bit along the driveway, so don't have to worry about that for the winter. So while it's good weather outside, I figured I'd go and clip all the pods that are on the tobacco. And as you can see, all of these are clipped. All of these aren't really salvageable, these little ones, but all the brown ones that were ready to harvest, that's what I did. Like these here, these will get all clipped off, and then later on I'll show you how to get the seeds out of them. But that's what I'm doing while it's good weather out here, is clipping all of these pods off the tobacco plant. And these came off of the 2 plants so far. All of those in that bag were from the planter, and this whole big bag here was from that first plant that I clipped off. So as you can see, there's quite a few pods that come off a plant, and I still have 3 plants to go, or 4, with multiple seed heads. So I'm still not done, and I've got plenty of seed, it looks like. So I just dug up the tobacco plant that was near the fence, and as you remember, it had multiple seed heads on it, and that's with it stripped off. I took all the pods off, all the seed pods off, but down here was amazing of the root base that it had. That's the root base. it's shallow, but this thing has so many roots on it. I was amazed. I haven't seen anything like this for root growth. But this is my first year growing tobacco also. So yeah, it has a healthy root base. And this one had the multiple seed pods on it. You know, there were lots of seed pods on this one. So that is what the root base looks like of a tobacco plant. Pan out more. There, and there were still roots breaking when I was pulling this thing up. And I'm cutting up all these stalks and putting the roots into the flow through. So this was a big root that I just showed you, and it's going into the flow through. And this flow through is in the living room, which I haven't showed you yet, but it's the same as the other one. The spacing on the bars are different, but I'm putting all the tobacco stalks, leaves, everything in here and letting the worms compost it. So I already took one of the echinacea flowers, or cone flowers as you want to call it, off the stalk and planted it next to the driveway to see if it comes up next year. Someone said just to plant the whole pod here. So I'll break that off and store that in a bag for the spring and see if I can raise that into another plant. So I sat outside earlier. It was still nice out. Probably sat out there for about an hour just reminiscing of this year. It's kind of a shocker, not really a shocker, but you know, I had to dig up my tobacco plants. You know, you know, it's my first year growing them, and you know, it's not sad, but you know, had to dig them up and put them in the flow through, and you know, harvest the seeds. But it, you know, I had my enjoyment for the year out of them. Well, the season at least, not the year. And the roots that I showed you were about the biggest clump out of all of them. There were smaller clumps out of the other ones. And I took the tobacco plant that was in the planter, I took that out also and winterized that. I dug out some soil that was in the pot and put coffee grounds and cardboard in that. And then I came in here, got some compost or castings, and buried one of the echinacea seed, seed heads, you know, out on the side of the driveway, and it has some worms in there too. So that plant, if it grows in the springtime, should be doing well off. And today was just a spur of the moment. You know, I've been wanting to trim the trees on the side of the driveway there, and just all of a sudden I got around doing that. Got those all trimmed down, and then felt, you know, in a good mood, so I started doing the tobacco and uprooting all that and chopping that up and putting it in the flow through. So it was a productive day. I hope your day was productive too. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you did today, or if you'd like to share, and Thanks for watching.